welcome to another live Facebook video and YouTube video on Property Doctor. Today we'll be talking about plastering and rendering of wall surfaces. Do you know that the difference between plastering and rendering is not just in the strength of the materials, but there are other things that we will talk about. And we have somebody who is experienced and somebody who has the knowledge, a professional. You know, we always tell you to get a professional to help you in your construction work. So we have a professional in the house, and with me today is Builder Peter O'Malley.
Good morning.
Good morning. You're welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Builder Peter is the project coordinator of Kamid Construction Nigeria Limited. So he's going to tell us about plastering and rendering. You know, to the layman, like we said earlier, that plastering and rendering is the same thing. But today he's here and he's going to tell us about plastering and rendering of wall surfaces and the processes that we need to follow to make sure that we get the best out of the material, also to save money. So, Builder Peter, what is plastering? What is rendering?
Okay. Good morning once again. My name is Builder O'Malley Peter Ame, the project coordinator, Kamid Construction Nigeria Limited, based here in Abuja. For the layman, you only hear the word plastering, yeah, irrespective of where the application is taking place or is going to be used. However, plastering is referred to internal surface finishings. Traditionally, or where we copy this technology from, it's
where did you copy the technology from?
In the Nigerian context, we are in the built environment. Yeah. Our code is the BS standards. That's the British standard, okay. And so it's their code that's what we are using. And so from their own end, there, what they use basically for internal surface finishing is the function of POP. That's plaster of Paris, gotten from gypsum chloride. Okay. However, in our own context here, considering that's for internal, yeah, that's what you do. Mm-hmm. However, for external, the use also is the word is rendering. When you are doing outside surfaces, okay, you are doing surface finishes, you do rendering. And the material composition, in some cases, though rarely we do that here now, we use cement, lime, sand.
Do you get lime in the market?
Yes. That's why I'm saying in our own environment here, the use of lime is rare. However, it's not like it's not there. We use lime for practicals while I was in school, yeah, because you can disintegrate it and reuse again. Okay. But in the practical on market practice in the field, yeah, in Nigeria today, what we use is cement, basically, yeah, sand, which we call fine aggregates, yeah, and then water. They all come in ratios. It's not just the haphazard way that people just mix, and at the end of the day, they don't achieve functionality.
Wow, so there's even a method of mixing,
sure,
so as to get the best,
yes,
out of it.
Yes.
Okay, so what is the method of mixing that can get the best for plastering? I think we should take the plastering first, or is it the same process?
Yes, that now bringing it back home, just like I said, we rarely do some of those things because technology, you localize it to suit your purpose. Okay. So the same material we use for rendering back home in Nigeria here is what we use for plastering, meaning internal surface finishing. Okay. And so the basic ratios, depending on the surface exposure, yeah, is you do 1 part of cement, okay, to 3 parts of fine aggregate. That's sand. According 1:3 okay, by volume. Okay. Yeah. So that's the max you go, and you do the least 1:6, meaning 1 part of cement and 6 parts of a fine aggregate. Okay. Then the water composition is 20% of the dry weight of both the cement and fine aggregates to give you
You said it's 20%?
Yes,
Okay,
of
so
the
like
dry mix.
yeah.
That's what you add to it to give you the workability. There's what we call workability of the material, meaning the ease with which it will be placed or applied.
Okay.
So if you don't have these basics together, you may not achieve workability, and you may also not achieve the desired strength of the either plastering or rendering, as the case may be.
Okay.
Yes, that's for the mix ratio.
Okay.
Good. And you know, at times it's not cast in stone, because materials that you bring together, especially the fine aggregate, you may find a situation whereby the water content in the fine aggregate available is already high, so you don't stick.
That will be during the rainy season.
Yes,
like
yes.
Here in Nigeria, during the rainy season, the fine aggregate we already have some water content.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so how do you?
So in that case now, you don't stick to that, since it has been said that when I weigh, I must add this volume of water to it. No, you don't do that any longer, because you may still not achieve the workability, meaning you may have excess water, thereby separating the materials from each other.
Okay, now to plaster and to render, as you have talked about it extensively now.
Yes.
Do you need a professional to do the mixing and the placing on the wall?
Yes. For every technical work that has to do, especially, it's a skilled work. It's not a work, it's not something that an unskilled labor should do. Yeah. So in this case, you have to be skilled in and very proficient in it. And so by so doing, you take instruction from your builder, who supervises the building production. He gives you the guide as to what the specifications of the plastering or rendering he or she wants to achieve. And so the technician, being the masonry skilled worker, will now go by the instructions given to him in achieving the desired mix.
Okay, the technician is the mason. Is it the same person as a bricklayer? Is it the same thing?
You know, they are also interchanged, but the bricklayer, masonry encompasses. So brick, you are narrowing it to bricks. However, there are some technicians who are very good at doing rendering work, and they cannot lay bricks or the concrete blocks that we use here. And some also are good in laying bricks but cannot do finishes. And so you have to identify those who are proficient in that specific area of endeavor, meaning plastering and rendering, to be able to get the desired finish that you want.
Okay. At what stage do you require somebody to render the building, or to render the wall, or to plaster the wall?
You know, it comes in building one, maybe at the construction stage. If it's a new building, you may require to, when you have roofed your house, it depends on the type of building also. It depends on the type, and it depends on your program of work. Yes, so ideally, if you have a project, in the ideal situation, a builder should have prepared a program of work for that project. And so it will now tell you at so level you are expected to commence rendering or plastering, as the case may be. So there is no cast in stone time that at this particular time you are expected to.
Yes, because you already have the program.
Yes, the program of work.
Okay. Can a building do without plastering? Can you do without rendering or plastering any building? Rendering a wall of a building.
Today we have technologies coming up, and we have dry walls. They are all also serving the function of either you render or plastering. And so if you have to just answer your question straight, it's possible for you to have a wall, a brick or a concrete block laid without doing the traditional plastering or rendering. However, other surface finishes would take place of the plastering and rendering of surfaces. Yes.
Okay. Why do you think, what is the purpose of plastering or rendering a wall in a building?
Okay, one is to protect the brick or the concrete block, cover some reveals that probably are not properly achieved while laying the bricks, and to bring about a smooth surface wall finish to receive other finishes that may come after it.
Okay.
Yes.
When a wall is rendered, like a building has been built and the wall is rendered or plastered, how long do you think it should last for the wall to remain plastered or rendered?
Now is a function of use.
Okay.
If there are no cracks, if there are no spalling, meaning the rendered surface is not falling off, naturally, the way cement is composed, if as it continues to receive water, it adds strength. Okay. So if your wall is well rendered or plastered, you cannot say that within, because we've seen buildings that were probably rendered 100 years ago and they are still the way they are. Yeah. The only thing that probably you clean off dust and repaint. So it's a function of what has been done that determines how long it will stay. So if it's not well done, it can also collapse even within the next 3-4 months.
So, okay, even the plastering and rendering can collapse, so it can fail.
It can fail. Okay. That's what I mean by collapse. Okay. Yeah, it can fail.
Now, we were talking before we started this program, and we talked about the kind of material.
Yes.
That is used. And you talked about fine aggregates just now.
Yes.
But there's something we call plaster sand.
Yes.
But you said when we were discussing that you can use fine aggregate that's a particular kind of sand or fine aggregate mixed with cement and water, and you can get good surface.
Yes.
Now, can you tell us where we can get this particular kind of sand that you're talking about and what it looks like?
Okay. The fine aggregates that we refer to here is a river fine aggregate. It's
very smooth?
Very smooth.
Yeah.
Not the traditional topsoil that people dig from the farm, and you see it haphazardly used everywhere, especially here in Abuja. So, but in Abuja, there's a location, I can't remember, but I've gotten from there, somewhere around Kuje. Okay. You get very smooth and fine aggregates that you can use and achieve good strength. Also, if I may even bring to your notice, like from where I come from, I am from Benue State.
In Nigeria?
In Nigeria here. I'm from Benue State in Nigeria, and my local government is Ogbadibo. Okay. And so if you go to that part of Nigeria down towards Enugu, the eastern part, you discover that the sand there or the aggregate there is fine and loose. And so when they use it to do rendering or
plastering, it's not silty, but it's just fine.
Yes, it's fine. Okay. So when they use it, you discover that the strength is extra, and you don't have this issue that we experience here, issue of algae growth and so many things like that happening around. Yes, all those attacks, crystallization as a result of a fluorescence, that's salt effect, and all those things that affect plaster and brings about deterioration. Yes. So if you go to those areas, those fine aggregate, they have it in abundance there. And so that's what they use.
Let me take, so that they can understand what you're talking about. That is the green coloration you see on walls that have been plastered or rendered. You see green coloration. That is an attack of fungi or algae on the wall. That's what he's trying to talk about.
Yes. So all these are, because algae, they survive in the presence of moisture. Yeah. And so before you know it, they eat up the wall finish. That's the plaster. Okay. and it brings about it failing and falling off. At times also, there's something I also forgot to mention. Water, we know we talked about water, but we didn't talk about the pH.
The kind
Yeah,
of
so the water should be potable water.
drinking
Yes,
water.
that's water that you can drink.
That's what
Because
we should use
because when you don't fetch any water from any source and it's highly acidic, you're already causing problem for the building also. It will not stay. The building, there's what we call a fluorescence.
Okay.
At times you see white patches on the wall. It's salt that's coming out due to the reaction between the materials that have been used. Okay. Either you go and dig clay and you call it plaster sand, and this they start reacting, sulfate attack.
Yes, on
on the wall. They start reacting.
You see that's commonly when there's a rising damp.
Damp, yes.
You see
yes.
It's very common there.
Yes.
Now, if you don't use this right materials,
yes.
do you think it can cause cracks on the wall?
It's possible. It can cause crack also.
If you use the clay kind of soil
yes.
or topsoil that
yes.
you use
yes.
in rendering,
yes.
do you think it's what causes all these airy cracks that makes the building not beautiful? Or
yes, you know clay naturally, according to season, you will discover that now that the rain is going, if you go to where water retained, you will start seeing sign of natural cracks. Yes. Because of the shrinkage.
Yes, because of the weather changing.
Yes, the weather that is changing. And so when you now use those topsoil or clay material, and you call it plaster, sand, and you use them to do wall rendering, the shrinkage that will take place in the process of the surface finishing is very rapid. And so at times you have to wait for it. Some people will say they are waiting for it to set. Then you set, you rub, you shine, you come back, you still see those hair cracks appearing. It is because the clay has its natural way of behaving. So it will still, in as much as there's a combination of cement in it, it will still behave in that its natural way. And so you see those mapping. At times, like it's called, you see maps, like map like that on the wall. Yes.
Okay. So we've been talking about plastering and rendering, and we've learned a lot from Builder Peter in the studio. If you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do so on the link that will accompany this video. After every 4 years, please use good quality paint for durability and for you to save money. Have a great day. Do you know you are supposed to paint your house after every 4 years? Please use good quality paint for durability and for you to save money. Have a great day. Do you know you are supposed to
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me? Yeah, sorry, we had a power outage, and we're just trying to put things together. So, this is Nigeria. Anyway, how do you get good masons or plasterers?
Okay, for you to, just like I earlier mentioned, it's something the Nigerian Institute of Building has been into. We have an arm that is into training of artisans and craftsmen from the Nigerian Institute of Building.
Yeah.
So if you want to get certified technicians or skilled workers, you approach them. You approach the Nigerian Institute of Building, the National Secretariat, or the Abuja chapter is located at MKK Plaza in Abuja here, Gudu district.
Okay.
So you can approach them, and as much as qualified technicians that are needed can be gotten from there.
Okay, so these people have been trained, and do they have the techniques
Yes.
for rendering and plastering?
Yes.
Do they know that there's a difference between rendering and plastering? Do they know how to manage, plastering the inside and rendering the exterior of a building?
You know, these people, they are not just people on the roadside. Some of them are graduates who chose to go into having technical skills. And so they go through an intensive 9 months training, yes. And so they run through the class to understand the basic science of what they are doing. And also, that's for like 3 months.
Yeah.
And 6 months, they are placed on sites with people where they work and gain the practical understanding. Some have been practicing, they have chose to come in to gain their certification. There's what we call the National Skills Qualification Framework,
Yeah.
which is currently in trend. We have it in the UK, in the island, in India. So Nigeria is also following the trend. And for the Nigerian skill sector, the Nigerian Institute of Building has been the one managing that process. So in collaboration with the Board for Technical Education, that's MBTE. So they are certified in categories, in grade.
Yeah.
And so depending on the technicalities of what you want the work involved, we know their certification grade. It's in level 1, level 2, level 3, like that categorized.
Okay.
So in that category, we pick those that suits the work to be done.
Okay.
Yes.
So
it's easy to get people, and they know what is expected of them when they go to the field to work.
okay. So viewers, you can see that even if you want to help somebody, or even if you want to gain another experience in skilled work, you know where to go to. You can connect with Nigerian Institute of Building. You get the details of what kind of certification you want to help you get skills in other things. Do you have any last word for us, sir?
What I would want to encourage our viewers and the general public is get a professional. It's always cheap.
It's cheaper.
And cheaper. Because most times you see we run after cheap labor, we go to the Mabushi, we just pick people standing by the roadside with shovels, or you see somebody carrying a measuring tape.
Yeah.
He tells you he's a builder and you engage him. You end up losing your materials and your labor, your hard-earned money. So I would just encourage us as a people to learn how to respect and appreciate professional input. That way, we get value for our money.
Yeah,
It's cheaper and more economical for us than when we want to approach, we do the wrong work and we run back to call a professional to come and salvage the situation.
Yeah.
So, which is usually not too good for us because we are losing more money by so doing.
Yeah. So viewers, you see, we always tell you to get a professional. get a professional to advise you, get a professional to do the job. It's cheaper and it's safer. How do you get so much money to put a building together and you get quacks to help you build the house? It's not cheap, like he said, so that you get value for your money. Thank you for joining us today on the program Property Doctor. We hope you have learned something. I have learned a lot today, and we hope to see you same time next week with another exciting episode and topic to be discussed in this program. If you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do so on the link below, or you can connect with us on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube at Property Doctor NG, and on Twitter at Property Doc NG. See you next time and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.